You are watching Soleful Discussions.
All right, so hello, welcome back for the third time for both of you. What's going on? How's it been?
It's been amazing.
All right.
It's been a journey with bare feet.
The bare feet.
No nails.
How about for you, Ash?
Fantastic.
All right. Well, how you guys watched your second video already?
Yes.
How?
I did not.
You did? You did not.
I did not.
Okay, you skipped it.
Yeah. I didn't skip it. I'll watch it eventually.
Eventually, okay. What did you think about the second one?
I actually liked it. I felt like the whole storyline of it, or not storyline because it's not really a storyline, but like the whole interview setup to it. I think it's pretty dope. And then just hearing us talk, hear myself talk about, the questions that you have is pretty cool.
Pretty dope. Oh, when you do get around to it, then we'll eventually talk about that.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel yet.
Absolutely. You got a lot of great compliments, man. I don't know, man.
Okay.
That's
what's up.
But so yeah, we're out here for a third time. So what did we just get through doing right now?
So we just finished doing our toes, guys.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We ain't got them done. And yeah, whoever the person was that's been asking for white, Delia did not go get white. So
that's messed up.
So sorry, buddy. Sorry. Yeah, you've ruined it for everybody. Anyway, so I got a new group of questions I want to kind of go through with you guys. Now, same thing as usual, like your own opinions, no right or wrong answers to it. So however you feel about it, all right? Okay. Let's kind of do like a left to right and then a right to left. Like, so first question left to right, second question right to left, and we'll just keep going like that. Cool?
Sounds good.
Sound good? All right, so first question. What are your thoughts on how the world is starting to become more aware of mental health and what we're starting to do about it?
I feel like we're just at the peak of it. I feel like there's still a lot of work needed to be done, especially like people advocating more of self-awareness, self-love, and what it is really, because I feel like people really just speak on it, and then people just think like, oh, just having to go get a cup of a drink or the food that you like, it's always the number one thing. And I feel like it's more that mental health that we need to like emphasize to the world. So yeah, I think we're just at a peak of it.
What about you guys?
Honestly, I think the world right now, they're becoming more aware of just mental health and self-care and putting that all together. And it's just gonna grow, because even with my own journey, I became aware of it, and now this is 2.5 years later, and I feel like I'm finally getting a routine and rhythm to where things don't bother me and irked me as much as they would have even when I first started, or even maybe last year.
A few moments later.
So I think we're in the right direction.
These black bugs, bro, I swear. We gotta move. I
don't know why the bugs have
Let's
to be black.
pause and move somewhere. All right, so next question. What are your thoughts about social media, and then how do you use social media?
Ooh. I think social media can actually be a really powerful and helpful tool if you're using it the right way. So I have to say, originally my followers were kind of just like people I knew, and then you just follow random people. Okay. And if they're like posting like a bunch of negative stuff, then you kind of find yourself in a negative space. Yeah. And then I want to say I do a social media cleanse. So if I don't think that you're bringing to the table, positivity or anything to it, then I just unfollow you. So like my page, honestly, it goes from like a high like to 1,000, and then it'll drop because I'm like, no, I'm interested. I'm not interested. Yeah, and then I've noticed a difference because I'm constantly being inspired by the people I follow. Okay. You know, and I prefer that than just seeing your drama. I'm not even interested. Like I literally follow one girl. She's really, really negative, but I find it kind of humorous. So I kind of follow her. I can have a little. Is it more of a
sarcasm, or is it more?
Yeah, and it kind of works for me. But eventually, if it gets too overwhelming, then she'll go ahead and get blocked as well. But I mean, I like a nice blend of like sarcasm. You can have a bad day and vent, like that's fine. I have no issues. But for the overall, like if we have 365 days in a year, I'm gonna need not all 365 days to be horrible. If that makes sense. So that's how I feel.
What about for you?
For me, I feel social media is a huge platform that we get to use now. It just depends on how you purposely use it. I just came back onto my social media platform, Instagram. I had currently gotten hacked, and it definitely was a mental battle I had. Even getting it back, it was kind of like still something I was kind of like freaked out about, just because, again, you don't know. It's like she said, you have people that are there to influence you for the great things, and then there's out here people that are out here for the bad, right? So that happened to me. I feel like everybody should be very, very aware of how they use that platform wisely. But it's a dangerous thing. I feel social media, if you ask me.
Okay, hold on one second. All right, cool. So next question is, if there was one thing you could change about social media, right? Anything you want, somebody gave you the power to change something, what would you change? Take it, sure. It's over here.
What would I change about it?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like just it being more, I guess, having a restriction on what we can actually post.
Okay.
On it, and really focus on. I feel like the whole human trafficking, as far as being one of the biggest things. I feel like if they can just like structure the way this platform is being used, it can definitely be for the best. I feel like it's a platform where we can sell a lot of things, right? Which is what a lot of people use for their businesses. So it's a great thing. But I feel like if they had more of a, like I said, security on in terms of what we're posting when it comes to kind of that platform.
Okay.
Ooh,
What about
that
for you?
was a good one.
That was a good one.
I was honestly gonna say I can't even think of anything, but I do want to piggyback on that.
Okay.
Honestly, if you can just kind of limit what we're able to post, just like she said with human trafficking, or when it comes to just like negativity stuff, or like suicide or anything like that. Yeah. It's crazy. Or like bullying. Like it right now it triggers COVID, anything COVID related. So why can't it trigger other things that are negative that can harm social,
people's mental health.
Yeah, mental health and stuff like that. So yeah, that's definitely a great one.
Feel it. So how about this? What are some things that like tend to bring you anxiety? And you don't have to go too deep, but like maybe more surface level. What are some things?
Ooh, I would have to say for me currently, when I'm constantly being reminded of just how bad things are.
Okay.
Like when you are on social media and you're able just to scroll and you're constantly seeing the same exact thing and you're just like, oh my God, like I just need 1 second to breathe. Like I can't do this any longer. Like we all have our own like regular world life stuff, and then we actually have to go out into the real world, and it's like a whole shit show, if I can use that word. But
sometimes it can be like a little overwhelming.
It becomes overwhelming. So that will bring in anxiety. Or like for me personally, like if I don't work out enough, or I feel like I'm not getting enough workouts in, then I become like more just anxious. But it's because working out takes away any stresses that I have, so I become more.
That's
like,
part of your routine.
And I become, so if my routine's off, then I'm like more like get back on track.
Exactly. What about for you?
I feel like for me, kind of like going on to what she said, like what I currently feel I find myself in anxiety is of, man, the amount of people that are just being lost, family members and friends, and it's like we already know like COVID is happening and something that's in our world, but like you said, when it's kind of like a billboard type of thing, like we're seeing it and we're seeing it, and you kind of like do want to stay in a mental space yourself, so that kind of makes it very big on anxiety for me. Another thing that I found myself going into anxiety with social media, and I never felt it, but because I was off and now I'm back, I feel like looking at other people. I never really thought that I would feel that way, because I don't necessarily like look to see and what the other person has, but when you're kind of looking at it and you kind of like start seeing where you are and you're just looking at what you want and it would be nice, you kind of start questioning where you are. You want to do more, and you feel like that anxiety of like, man, I need to do more. So I think those are two of the biggest things.
So you're talking about more like the comparison part, right? Because it's like this person is doing this, and like this is what they have,
I feel like it has to do not more so like comparing myself with the person, but more so like my expectations for myself.
So you're like
my own,
right? Got it. Okay, that makes sense. In terms of like, so we talked about routines, right? You were kind of bringing up like routines, some things that you do. Are pedicures a part of that? Is that something that kind of like relieves some of that anxiety, just going in and getting that done for you guys?
I'm not gonna say it relieves it. It is definitely a part of my routine. Like I've mentioned before, even in my first interview before COVID, it was every 2 weeks, but with COVID it wasn't. And then I went back to my routine, but then our numbers were so high in January I skipped it. So like I was fully in need of one.
Got it.
But it's definitely not a stress reliever. It just, those are parts of me and now I'm rebalancing me. So that goes into self-care. It definitely, I'm not like anxious if I don't get it done. I'm like, oh my god, like I'm married, I don't have to impress anyone. So I'm like,
it's like, no,
you can either like my toes as a hot mess or not. I don't really care.
Got it.
You know, so
What for you?
For me, I feel like it is part of my routine. Like like she was saying, every 2 weeks is just a thing that I would do Saturdays. And it's just pleasurable for me because I work out, so it is like a massage type of feeling when they're taking care of your feet. And for me, like I was telling you on the first video, and I mentioned it to you guys, it was like dressing up my feet was to make it look cute. So since we did that first video, I had not done my pedicure, and today I did finally get it done, and it felt great. It felt great. Like, man, like she said, you're back into your self-care routine. And it's, again, there's the like love yourself, and then the self-care, and which is really just loving on you, and what that requires is part of making sure you feel good about what it is that you have.
That's dope. That's dope. All right. We've already asked some of these questions, but let's ask this though. What are some things you do like to be complimented about? Like, if somebody's gonna give you a compliment, what would you prefer for it to be about?
Oh, that's a great question. I'm gonna let Ashley go first because I have to think about it.
Go ahead.
Oh man.
Oh, put me on the spot.
Jokingly, this ass. But honestly, I don't know. Like, I like it when like a man will compliment my smile, because I actually don't wear like lipstick or anything. Like what you're gonna get from me is chapstick. And so the fact that you're like, no, like my smile doesn't matter because I didn't dress up my lips and I don't wear makeup. So the fact that you like still like, no, you have a pretty smile, I'm like, oh thanks. You know, to where I'm like, wait, what? So yeah, I think that works. I be confused. Like, what? I be shocked every time.
That's so interesting. I think for me it's gonna have to be I guess complimenting my height.
Okay. Because
for the most part, I hear like, "Damn, you're tall."
Oh, okay.
You know, well, and now it's more so like, "Wow, you're pretty tall and beautiful." So it's a different type of approach now that I get from people. Like, I feel like a little younger, I used to get a lot of that. Yeah. For the most part, now it's a little both. But I love when it's complimented.
During like your first interview, right? You said that you would, like, if you were gonna change one thing, you would want to be short.
A little shorter, because I would want to wear the fuck out of heels every day, like, you know.
He's like, if you do though, you're like super taller than like much taller than everybody else.
Yeah, it won't look like a normal thing on a daily action.
Absolutely. All right, so I know that you really can't answer this question. You're married, but I still want you like to put yourself like if you were single, right? So the question is,
I know.
So the question,
Barney's gonna like it. Okay.
The question is this: okay, if you were dating someone, or like you were going to start dating someone, right? What is something that's a potential deal breaker? Something you're like, can't deal with that.
Wow. Shit. As you get older and you like, you know, more mature, you find things out about yourself. But I think a deal breaker, like if you're, it's a lot. I mean, I've always been kind of strict with certain things. Like you have to be working, driven. Honestly, you have to have a degree. You to have like health insurance. Like, because those are things about
basically
you.
Being responsible, being a responsible adult.
Like let's say that, because
that
honestly, there's some deal breakers because you never know who you'll end up having children with. Out of like, oh shit, and then you're like here stuck with that person in a sense. Like you don't have to marry.
Yeah, you don't have to stay with them.
But you're still like, you know, if they're a present partner, then you still gotta interact with them. This child ain't about to walk or drive to their parents' house, so it's like, you know, you still want to be able to, like, I guess, co-partnership. And I've always had that in my mind. Like, yo, you don't never know who you're going to get pregnant by. So, I mean, you could. I mean, if you know, you do it right. Yeah, you could.
If you just wanted to, like, pick somebody, huh?
Yeah. So I've always been very mindful of that.
That's dope. I like that.
So that's why.
Okay. What about for you?
I have a few things I'm very particular about.
Let's go.
But I'm going to do the basic things. Your cleanliness. Your fucking shoes. Excuse my language.
Well, we know you love shoes because you said that's the first thing you look at. Like, you look down,
that's the first thing I look at. So your shoes have to represent yourself. Your cleanliness, and then also, like she mentioned, like, what are your motivations and what is your drive? Because I feel like at the end of the day, like, if you have a fantastic job or a fantastic degree or not, like, I feel like if you cannot be self-motivated, self-driven, I feel like you can't bring anything to be an asset beside me, you know? So I think that's the biggest thing I look at. And lastly, not someone that's trying to control me with what they do for me. So I feel like that's what I look the most. Those are breakthroughs. The moment I feel somebody's trying to control me based on what you do or what you are, that's it. And Ashley knows. She's like,
that's why I was laughing. I'm like smiling like.
Yeah, and I think the one part you said, so now I want to touch on something, right? You said about shoes, right? Now, what do we mean about shoes? Like, I mean, because does it have to be like, if let's say like it's somebody who wears sneakers, right? Do they have to wear a certain type of sneakers?
No, so when I mention shoes,
yes,
no, like it doesn't even refer back to like making sure you have a branded shoe or nothing.
Yeah.
I just feel like when you can dress yourself up, so stylish, one, and then two, like the cleanliness of your shoe.
Okay.
Like just itself, period. I don't know what it is. Like for me, since I guess because when I was young, my mom emphasized that a lot for us, like making sure you have your school shoes and you have your play shoes and you make sure you clean your shoes every day. And so that's something I look at, and my mom always said, like, you present yourself well. So I feel like that's something I always look at men for, specifically at men, because men can be so careless about so many things. So I feel like it can start with you, and that's your representation of what you know. So I can only imagine your house.
Yeah,
that's
like
a very small detail.
It's, like,
it's a very small detail you think is not, you know what I mean? So I feel like that's huge.
That's a good one. Let's see here. All right, I mean, I think that's pretty much all the ones I have. Oh, no, I do want to ask this one. Because Ashley has asked me this quite a few times, so I want to touch on this because I want you to tell me your opinion, all right? In your opinion, what is the difference between someone with a foot fetish and someone who likes feet? Like someone who might have an appreciation as opposed to a fetish. In your opinion, what is that? What does it look like?
Okay, so if you just appreciate feet, then you're an admirer, I guess. So you're just someone who just enjoys your partner keeping up with their feet, so they're not like ashy, and then if it's a woman, they're polishing them. Even for men, like some men do like the gloss. So I mean, if that's what you're into, then you're keeping that up, maintaining them. You're constantly clipping your toenails. They're not, you don't have like crazy looking soles and stuff like that. So it's just, appreciating the fact that you're keeping up with yourself, and something that's always so hidden. Like for men are wearing sneakers, so you can hide the fact that you got some crazy looking feet. Like you be like, whoa, like have you seen a doctor? Type of energy. And then for women, you can hide your feet too. So it's like that's something very private, and it just shows a lot about yourself. And like I've mentioned before, when I worked at Ross, and that security guard asked me.
He asked you about
Yeah, he was like, "Take off your shoes." I don't know. Yeah, girl, Ross place is wild.
But that's a fetish right there. That's
it wasn't.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
No, he was. He just wanted to see. He was like, because I keep myself up, like my eyebrows, things you could see. But since you had to wear those closed-toe shoes,
you had a fetish.
Me and you are on the same. We're on the same page.
No, because I was always wearing closed-toe
think about it this way, right?
Look, think about it like this: if somebody's admiring it, then I'm gonna admire it while you're wearing these beautiful sandals. Like, oh, girl, that's some nice toes. But if I'm in a closed-toe shoe and Brittany comes up to me and we're in the store and he says, "Hey, well, I take care of myself, but let me see your toes, Donica. You got a fetish."
No, hey,
you got a fetish for sure.
Hey, Deli, I was just gonna say that. How long did we work together? And when did I ever come up and be like, "Hey, take your shoes off"?
Make sure you better not be short of this money right here. That's
not once. I think that was different. I think that was somebody who was
fetish.
like,
that's an example of a fetish.
Yeah.
Damn, they got you.
Did it just hit you? It just hit you right now?
No, it's not. Okay, his brother did your taxes. Like, you gonna ask me for your place?
If he's watching this right now,
he's gonna tell me.
Forget all that.
In order for me to do your taxes, I'm gonna see your toes.
You're like this.
Okay, that's a fetish.
Okay, and
so what about for you?
I didn't
she didn't finish.
Oh, you're not finished? I'm sorry.
What's a fetish?
Okay.
Like you wanna like lick my toes, the sole, and you wanna like put your hands in them, like all
that's
that.
That's a fetish?
That's obsession.
Why?
Okay,
no, because I'm saying like some people do that. That's a part of like what they do in the bedroom.
Oh, and you want to just like feel them, like that. I'm like, okay, maybe it's a little much.
Damn, so you've had that happen? No comment, guys. This is for the private viewers.
That's a side conversation.
Now it's her turn.
This is our fans only page now.
Hold on. Let me finish with.
Okay.
So if somebody wanted to like lick your toes or touch your feet in general, you would consider that to be a fetish?
If we have candles around my feet, yeah.
When did this happen? You're being very specific. You're being very specific right now. If you put candles around my feet, if you rub my feet like this, when did this happen? Okay, because it happened at some point.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll get to that on the side.
That's a whole other interview.
Yeah.
For me, an admire would be like we mentioned, or like she kind of mentioned, somebody that just appreciates the woman, you know, taking care of their feet. Kind of like, you know, on a day that I'm wearing an open toe shoe, like, hey, you have some pretty feet, or hey, that's a nice polish. I think that's appreciation. Fetishes be the man that be like, damn, girl, can I get some pictures? Can I lick your toes? Can I like, you know? So that the language that's being used versus the person that's appreciating, I think that's the biggest difference.
Okay, so are you guys saying like if it's a stranger in there saying that? Because I'm like saying like if you're dating somebody, right, and they wanted that to be a part of like what you do in the bedroom, would you consider that to be a fetish?
Yeah,
it still would be.
Yeah, still? Like if I would know someone, like my boyfriend would be like, hey, can I like lick your toes? Yeah, you're into that. That's your fetish. Okay.
But see, here's the thing.
Because it's not like we're like sitting there like just the moment just happen to you get to my fucking toe. You know what I mean?
No,
like,
but here's the thing.
So it's something that it's somebody already likes. That's a fetish.
But no, because fetish means like it's an over obsession. So it means like
like foot pictures on your wall.
That, or like let's say for somebody who's like that's the only way that they derive pleasure. Like they can't get pleasure any other way, right? It can only be through feet. So that's what I'm saying. Like if you're dating someone who's like they appreciate every other part of you, and then that's another part, that would be considered to have a fetish. Because if he was like into your hair and he wanted your hair like to be done or whatever like that, would that be a hair fetish?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I met a man.
I don't feel like it has to be anything so deeply psychologically like, oh my God, but I feel like if it's already something that you like literally wish to see or do or like attempt, I feel like that is already something in your mind. Like
so you have a shoe fetish then?
I do have a shoe fetish.
You have a shoe fetish.
I do.
What's your
fetish?
fetish?
I like shoes.
You don't have.
She a liar.
You don't have
Name
anything.
one.
You don't have anything.
Degrees.
There has to be something.
Degrees are her fetish.
That is not a fetish.
Yeah, you gotta have a degree.
Yeah, I'm not turned on without a degree.
Nah, but
that's kind of true, but it's not a fetish.
Unbelievable. Okay, let's move to the next question because we'll ask you later at a later time because you can't think of anything right now. In terms of that, I think that's pretty much it. Now, can we take a look at your lady's pedicure feet? Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, cool. Let me get you guys to put them close together, right next to each other. All right. And so one got white, one did not get white because whoever that person is, that
I'm just like a rebellious person. You tell me one thing, I'm gonna do that.
Don't tell her to do anything, guys. All right, it's not gonna work. All right, cool. And you got your bedazzled sandals on, and what are these like snake? Are those cheetah print?
Is that snake cheetah?
I couldn't tell because it looks like it's like snake skin. Okay, so cheetah print, and then you got your bedazzleds on.
Yeah.
You said you got married in these.
No, I didn't get married. They were for after.
Oh, so
for
like
after. The reception, so I could just be chilling.
Okay. Cool.
Twerking.
Cool.
In peace.
All right, let me get you guys to take your sandals off. All right. Cool. So now, how did the pedicure feel? Because you guys got the lava spa type thing.
Yes.
Was it any different than like other pedicures you've gotten, or pretty much the same?
About the same.
Okay.
It smelled fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
That was the hugest difference.
Okay.
And you know, it felt good. It was good.
Cool. All right, let me get you guys to extend out so we can see the bottoms. All right. Cool.
Long ass feet.
Yeah. Size 9, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not that long. I met a lady the other day. She wears a size 10, so I was like, yeah. And I think she was probably about the same height as you, maybe a little bit shorter, but size 10. All right. Let's take some flexibility and stuff like that. You can't do one of the movements. I don't remember what it is. You can't do one of the movements. I think you can't spread. And I think you can't spread either, right?
I spread.
Let's try.
My toes naturally spread, right?
Okay, spread. Your other toes don't move to spread. Have you used the golf ball and stuff like I said? The tennis ball?
No, I actually haven't.
Oh my God. All right, let's get you to scrunch. Let's bend easy. Any pain? You've had pain the first time. Easy. All right. And just wiggle for about 10 seconds. You gotta work on your movements, man, to get them to be more flexible, man, like this, because it looks like you don't ever move them at all. All right, cool. Well, let's wrap it up because I know you gotta go. You got somewhere to be, and I'm pretty sure you probably got somewhere to be because you're a very busy lady as well. In terms of coming out for this third interview, how was it? How was the experience going to get the pedicure and everything like that?
Super fun.
Okay.
I enjoyed it. I love the fact that I was treated to a pedicure.
Yeah. As promised.
Up to my standards.
There it is.
And then also this interview was super awesome. I enjoyed it. It was fun, especially doing it with a partnership.
There it is. Yeah. There it is.
Yeah, it's felt like a self-care Saturday, and then better company than with my girl. Thank you so much for the pedicure.
Absolutely.
Again, I had so much fun doing this interview and really like acknowledging that part of myself that I really didn't even much put my mind into it before we had this interview.
Never paid attention to it before the first interview.
You know, you think you do, but I really wasn't paying of how subconscious I was about it. But yeah, definitely had a great experience.
There it is. All right, so is there ever going to be an opportunity for you guys to come out again? Let's put it out there.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yep.
I don't know. I got to see if the public wants me out
They
there.
do, and they want you in white toes.
I want to see if somebody got a comment they want a white one, I'll drop it. I'll probably give it to them.
Okay.
So I'm going to go in there. I'm going to go ahead.
It can't be Ashley, guys.
Yeah.
Somebody. Hey,
we're going to be watching you.
A whole new page. Bard friend. Go comment.
Yeah, we're going to be watching you for like the burner account on YouTube, okay? Yeah, so... But anyway, I do appreciate you guys so much. That's why I wanted to like make sure I took you guys out, treated you. I know it's not easy, like going through this process or whatever like that. It's always difficult. And what are your guys' thoughts about like the actual questions? Because like I asked you guys both the first round of questions. These were different. What were your thoughts in comparison?
I feel like you got a little bit more into depth with your questions, and the beginning is more general, kind of like getting to see where my comfortability is in terms of on my toes. I feel like now the questions just got more into depth, a little bit deeper than
Got it. What about for you? Same thing?
Pretty much the same exact thing. Like the beginning was just kind of like very like maybe a solid 4 questions maybe, and we just kind of worked on that, and then we kind of narrowed it down and kind of just progressed as we've done different videos. So.
Sweet. What's something that you guys would like to see, like in terms of like questions in the future, like even from other women to like ask, like answer?
I feel like for me, I would really want like, I know you have a set of questions, but I would really like audience questions, like just random, because it would be literally, I know you have, so maybe the next video can be that, hey, I'm just giving you an idea.
So we'd be live.
I'm gonna be honest with you, right? I'm gonna be honest with you. So some of the things I've been thinking about doing, one of them was I've thought about like having a group of women, right? People who like have been out before, and kind of letting you guys just do like the conversation with asking each other questions.
Oh,
right?
Most definitely.
That's one of the ones I thought about. Another one I thought about was like exactly what you said, like asking, like having them. But see, here's the thing about opening up Pandora's box with the questions, right?
Yeah.
Some of those questions end up not being very deep, right?
Yeah.
So like, it's like I have to like find a way to funnel through those. Now, if you guys don't mind about that, you're cool with them asking questions about that, we could do that then. How do you feel?
I feel like I'd be open for it. I think
we
it'd be
can
kind
do
of
a live
fun.
too. I think a live would
it'd
be
kind of fun, and again,
and we
like,
could ignore the ones that are.
We can
way too
ignore the ones we
disturbing.
don't feel comfortable. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because there's some questions that I feel, and I understand why you're saying you don't want to open that Pandora box. But I feel like we can always be like, hey, I'm not comfortable with answering that question. Maybe I'll get back to you. But
cool.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you, ladies, so much. Appreciate you guys coming out for the 3rd time, and we'll see you guys on the 4th one. All right.
Thank you. Watch Soleful.
You have to edit that out.
Yes, soul food.
Soul food. Like, okay, we're gonna Google soul food, and it's not gonna be him or
whatever.
us.
You know what I was trying to say.
Oh my god.